Alright, what's up guys, and so we're going to continue on with our series on how to beat every popular PvP build in New World. And today I want to talk about the bow and spear. So before we get into the breakdown, let me tell you first what's important when fighting these weapons. Unlike the Ice Gauntlet, we have a very big advantage against both these weapons. The spear has a lot of good interrupts, but with our build having 300 strength on it, we completely ignore all of the CC from the spear's abilities with our light and heavy attacks besides their stun. So knowing that spear players usually start off by using their vault kick stun, do your best not to get hit by this in the very beginning. When you're close to them, try to dodge then attack until you've seen them use this. After they use their vault kick, as long as you're throwing light or heavy attacks at them, the rest of their abilities won't work on us because of grit on our attacks. This allows us to do free DPS during their long animations on their abilities, or switch to our sword and shield for an easy stun. Just make sure to be still using dodge for any damage you can avoid between your attacks. And for the bow, use charge to close the distance as soon as possible. This is good to do because if they happen to get away from you after this in your gravity well, we can use the sword and shield to block most of their attacks until charge comes off a cooldown, giving us a second try at a rotation. But once you're on top of them, use your dodges to move with them while they dodge away from you. So if you mix your light attacks with dodging forward in between, your attacks should connect even if they tried to roll away. If they're rolling twice away from you, then you need to counter this by dodging twice towards them while attacking. Anytime you're in a bad situation and you need to reset, use your sword and shield to block the incoming damage until charge comes off a cooldown. So now that you got the basic idea of what's important, let's break down a few examples. Okay, so we're starting out a little close, so I opened up with Gravity Well. And I probably didn't need this charge. But you can see me attempting to dodge the vault kick preemptively. And since it did hit, I decided to answer back with my stun. Now I'm using my dodges to get on top of him as soon as possible, and when I realize it's not going to work, I take out my sword and shield and wait for my charge to come back off cooldown. Okay, this is why I don't like to start with Gravity Well. Since he was able to escape it in the beginning, it resulted in me in having to use charge anyway. But now I'm waiting for him to commit to something so I can interrupt it with my shield bash. After that huge execute, I know I have the win, so I don't overcommit to anything. I just throw on Defiant Stance, and I wait for my charge to come back from cooldown. So this guy's trying to play behind a fence, and I actually get caught in his sweep. But I notice how he's trying to set up his javelin, so I start getting ready to dodge it. So notice how I'm dodging with my attacks moving forward. Even when he isn't moving or dodging, I'm still dodging at him and then attacking, just in case he did decide to roll back. So here I try to stay on top of him by dodging forward and using my attacks, but I mess up a little bit, so I use my sword and shield to reset. I get caught by his stun and I notice him putting on a lot of pressure, so again I counter him with my stun. From here we go into our bread and butter rotation, stun to backstab to Gravity Well, and then sometimes one or two light attacks, and then always in the execute.